I go with Tom to his mother's house to wish her a Merry Christmas and to spend a little more time with him before our enforced separation. Mrs. Marinelli embraces me warmly, and I wish for a moment that there were two of me, one to stay in this noisy, shabby house full of Tom's siblings and nieces and nephews, and one to go home to my own family. 2 nights, Tom says tightly as he walks me to the door. Only 2 nights. And then you leave. His hand closes around my upper arm. Not until the new year. We'll have time. I nod and give him the kind of brotherly hug that we exchange in front of our people. I'll see you on Friday, then. Instead of taking the streetcar, I walk the long, cold blocks to Carmack Street, arriving chilled through and glad of the clanking radiator by the front door. I park myself on it and peel off my gloves, while Grace bounces in front of me, pestering me to come play a game with her. In a minute, okay? I kiss her head and skin out to the kitchen. The radio is on, playing muted carols, and Ma, Pearl, and Thelma are moving smoothly in the cramped space. Every available flat surface is covered in bowls and pans. For a long minute they don't even see me. Then Pearl looks up and catches my eye. "When did you get here?" She wipes her hands on her apron and comes to give me a hug. "Just now," I say. "I had to peel Grace off my leg. Shouldn't she be in here helping?" "If she helps, I'm leaving." Thelma's at the dramatic age, but it suits her. "Do you need me to carry anything?" I give Ma a squeeze. "I know you just keep me around as muscle." "Oh, you." She swats me. I've never known a woman who could put so much affection into a blow. "Max already did the heavy lifting this morning. You can keep us company, though. Get a cup of coffee and sit somewhere out of the way." The phone rings just as we're sitting down to supper. Max rises, but I say, "I'm closer," and go into the living room, perching on the arm of the sofa. "Hello?" The receiver crackles and my ear fills with voices, echoing. A large room with many people in it. "Hello?" "Hey, Ma! Merry Christmas!" My son's voice shouting over the din. "Are you eating supper?" "Toby, where are you?" At the sound of his name, chairs are pushed back in the dining room and everyone crowds around me. I tilt the receiver outward so they can hear. "Still on base," he shouts. "I knew there'd be a line for the phone tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure I got you." Grace is hopping up and down. I put my hand on her head to calm her. "Can you talk to your sister?" "I've only got 2 minutes," he says. "There's a line of fellows behind me." "Make it fast, baby," I say, handing her the receiver. "Everybody has to talk to him." "Toby, when are you coming home?" she asks immediately, putting her hand over her ear to hear him more clearly. "But I want you here. Tell the Army." She grimaces. "Okay, the Navy. Tell them." She listens a moment longer, then holds out the phone. "He wants George next." Of course he does. He's probably feeling the lack just as much as his brother. "I'm here." George goes quiet, smiles a moment, then resumes his sullen expression. "Okay, Pearl, you're next." As the phone moves from person to person, I tell myself that at least he called. At least we heard from him at Christmas, even if he can't be here with us. It will have to be enough. But it isn't. We've never been separated for the holidays before, and even though I know the war will keep us apart in some way or another until it ends, I'm not ready for any of my kids to leave home. "Ava." Max offers the phone. He wants to say goodbye. "We'll miss you, sweetheart." I keep the tears from my voice. "I hope they feed you a good Christmas dinner." "The chow's pretty good, but it's nothing like your cooking." There is a noise behind him. It sounds almost like a loudspeaker, and he raises his voice. "I'll be home before I ship out. They promised." "We'll be here," I say, but I'm talking to dead air. He's already hung up. With a sigh, I look at the circle of faces around me. Let's get back in there before the food gets too cold. Through the turkey and stuffing, green beans, potatoes, glazed carrots, rolls, and butter, we talk about Toby's call and reminisce about past Christmases. Every year Grace is more able to participate in the conversation, sharing her own small memories and making us laugh with her apt mimicry. "Why do we go to aunts and uncles for Christmas?" she asks. "Why not just eat at home?" "You'll know why when you're old enough to spend the day in the kitchen," Pearl says. "We go to aunts so we get a day off." And because it's Teddy's birthday. My youngest son, older than Grace by a little more than a year, was adopted by my sister when he was only 6 months old. Tomorrow he'll be 10. Most of the time I can think of him as my nephew, but on Christmas morning I'll inevitably remember going into labor at church and coming home to have him in our little house in Scoville Run. The last Christmas we spent there. The last Christmas Daniel was alive. I blot my lips, hiding my face momentarily behind my napkin. Max is a wonderful man, and I love him dearly. Sometimes, though, my old life rears up, and I wonder what it would have been like if Daniel had lived. If, for that matter, he had taken the job I found for him after the last war, instead of going back to the mines. But he loved that work as much as he loved his family. Daniel knew what I wanted, and he went back anyway, and it killed him. I'd like to think that he would be proud that we've done so well for ourselves, but I've never been convinced he would have wanted me to remarry. Mama! Thelma's light voice cuts through the thick fog of memory. Should I put the coffee on? Go ahead. I rise and begin to collect plates, but Pearl puts a hand on my wrist. Let us, she says. Go and put your feet up for a few minutes with Dr. Max. We'll call you when the coffee's done, Dan says. And there's pie if anyone has room. I have room, George says indignantly. I always have room. With some persuasion, Grace is convinced to go to bed early. I supervise face washing and teeth cleaning and pop her long flannel nightgown over her head. Good night, Gracie. Night, Pearl. She looks around the room. Can I have a story? Sweetie, you don't need a story. I sit on the edge of the bed and stroke her hair. You need to go to sleep so Santa will come. She leans her head against me, as warm and full of life as Aunt Claire's small dog, who has the same tendency to throw itself against the nearest human, confident of being caught. I know. I'm just excited for tomorrow. Mama will be up in a minute to say good night. I kiss the top of her head. The faster you go to sleep, the faster Santa will get here. Want to know something? She squirms down under the tight blanket. I don't think Santa is real. We talked about it at school, and my friend Nancy's brother said Santa is something that parents made up to make kids behave. There's more to it than that. It's too soon. I want Grace to believe in magic a little longer than this. Have you talked to Mama about it? Not yet. She yawns hugely. But I'm afraid to tell Pop. I think he still believes, and I don't want to ruin it for him. I go up to check on Grace. She's almost asleep, and when I bury my face in her hair, inhaling her little girl smell, she curls into herself and mews like a kitten. Mama. Sleep tight, baby. I back slowly away and return to the rest of the family, who are settled in the living room. Max is at one end of the sofa. Thelma sprawls the rest of its length, her feet on his lap. Pearl and Dan are seated near the fire, and George, dear, angry George, is hunched over the radio. It's tuned low, but I can tell from the stairs that he's looking for war news. Let's have some music, okay? I touch Max's shoulder, and he lifts Thelma's feet so I can slip in beside him. Something Christmassy. He grumbles a bit, but spins the tuner until he finds Bing Crosby crooning about a white Christmas. I haven't heard this one before, and listened to the sentimental lyric with tears stinging my eyes. Bing Crosby is dreamy, Thelma says. Listen to that voice. I elbow her gently. I'd rather listen to him sing. Snow and sleigh bells and children, all the elements of a Christmas card pretty holiday. This'll be the last big Christmas, Pearl says from the floor. What do you mean? Max's arm tightens protectively around my shoulder. A kid at school told Grace there's no Santa. It had to happen eventually. She's a happy child, so I don't think losing the fantasy will sadden her for long. Is she all right? My husband asks. Pearl shifts to see his face. She doesn't want to tell you because she thinks you still believe. There is muffled laughter from everyone at that, even George. Well, Max gets up, dusting his hands. Then I'd better get to work proving her wrong. George and I made reindeer hooves, and we're going to walk them across the kitchen roof so she can see them from her window tomorrow morning. Come on, kid. George follows him upstairs to the boys' bedroom. They move stealthily, although once Grace is asleep, it would take a freight train coming through to wake her up. He's just a child himself, I say to no one in particular. Dan pushes himself up on one elbow. Maybe that's why you married him.